All right, so you're thinking about a job as an amusement and recreation attendant. That's awesome. We're going to deep dive into some questions you might get asked and use insights from RoleCatcher's Career Guide to give you some seriously smart prep tips. So think roller coasters, water parks, arcades. Your dream fun job could be just around the corner.
Yeah. And the important thing is you're balancing guest experience with safety and efficiency. So you're kind of like the conductor of fun, making sure everyone has a blast while staying safe.
I love that. The conductor of fun.
Okay.
So first up, describe your experience working in the amusement and recreation industry. Now, what if you've never actually worked at a theme park before?
Yeah, that's where transferable skills are really important. Think back to any job where you had to interact with customers, like retail or food service, even volunteering at a busy event. Did you handle money, resolve complaints, keep things organized and clean? Those are all valuable experiences.
Yeah, so even if your resume doesn't scream roller coasters, you've got relevant experience to share. And RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your answers. It looks at the job description and then finds keywords that you can use in your response.
It's so helpful. It's like having a personal coach for your resume and interview, helping you show off the skills that are most relevant. Now, let's say the next question is, how do you ensure the safety of guests at an amusement or recreation facility? This is all about showing them that you're proactive, not just following the rules.
Right. Because no one wants a Ferris wheel mishap on their watch. So what are some things that come to mind?
Well, think about the environment. Are there any slippery surfaces, potential crowd bottlenecks, or areas that need extra attention? If you mention these things, it shows that you're already thinking like an amusement and recreation attendant. You're anticipating those potential problems before they happen.
Smart. And the RoleCatcher Guide mentions specific safety protocols that are common in amusement parks, like ride inspection procedures, which you could mention to show your knowledge.
Exactly. Okay, now get ready for this one. How do you handle difficult or unhappy guests? Let's be real. Not every park visitor is going to be sunshine and rainbows.
True. You might encounter some spirited guests, to put it politely.
For sure. The key here is de-escalation and empathy. Think about a time when you had to deal with a difficult customer. What did you do to calm the situation down, understand their issue, and then offer a solution? Maybe you offered a sincere apology, or a replacement item, or you just listened to them.
And RoleCatcher can actually help you practice those responses on video, and it gives you feedback on your tone and delivery. It really takes the awkwardness out of interview prep.
It's so valuable. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. How do you maintain cleanliness and hygiene standards in an amusement or recreation facility? This one might seem basic, but it's so important in this environment.
For sure. Nobody wants sticky floors or overflowing trash cans. What are some specific things you'd highlight?
Well, it's not just about wiping things down. You need to show that you understand proper waste disposal, sanitizing high-touch surfaces, and following established cleaning protocols. The RoleCatcher Career Guide actually emphasizes that cleanliness isn't just about how things look, it's about guest health and safety.
Right. A clean park is a happy and healthy park. Okay, now for a more fun question. How do you promote a positive guest experience at an amusement or recreation facility? Besides the rides and attractions, what makes a visit memorable?
I think it's those small personal touches. Think about a time you went to a park and an employee really went above and beyond for you. Maybe they gave you directions or offered a helpful tip or just gave you a friendly smile. Those small interactions can make a huge difference.
Absolutely. And the RoleCatcher Guide mentions that being knowledgeable about the park is a big plus. Like knowing about showtimes and special events, it shows that you're invested in making their day special.
Totally. Now let's tackle a more serious question. How do you handle emergency situations like bad weather or power outages? These things might not happen very often, but you need to be prepared.
Okay. So it's not just about knowing the rides. It's about knowing what to do when things go wrong. What would you suggest highlighting here?
The most important thing is to stay calm and think clearly under pressure. You've got to be able to follow protocols, communicate well with guests and colleagues, and make sure everyone is safe. How would you handle crowd control if you had to evacuate? How would you keep guests informed and calm during a power outage?
That's a great point. It's not just about knowing the rules. It's about being able to use them in a real-life situation, especially when things get stressful.
Yeah, and RoleCatcher can actually help you practice answering those kind of scenario-based questions, so you can walk into that interview feeling confident and prepared. Now let's move on to organization. How do you prioritize tasks and manage your time effectively as an amusement and recreation attendant? This job can get really busy, so it's super important to stay organized.
Right. You might be doing a bunch of things at once. like operating rides, answering guest questions, cleaning, and who knows what else. So what are some strategies that come to mind?
Well, think about how you stay organized in your own life. Do you use a planner? To-do lists, reminders on your phone. Those are all transferable skills. And it's also really important to be able to adapt. Things can change really fast in this environment, so you need to be able to shift gears and reprioritize tasks.
That's a really good point. And the RoleCatcher Guide mentions that a lot of amusement parks use scheduling software or communication systems. You could mention your experience with those kinds of tools
Yeah,
to show that you're comfortable with technology.
that's a great idea. Okay, let's talk about something that's really important in any job where you work with customers. How do you ensure the confidentiality and security of guest information in an amusement or recreation facility?
Right, because amusement parks collect a lot of data these days, from ticket purchases to loyalty programs. So what are some things to keep in mind?
It's not just about protecting passwords. You need to show that you understand data privacy policies and procedures. Mention things like handling personal information carefully, following the right protocols for storing and accessing data, and being aware of potential security breaches.
So it's about showing that you take data security seriously and understand why it's important to protect guest information. Now for the last question. How do you stay up to date with industry trends and changes in the amusement and recreation industry? This is your chance to show how passionate you are about this field and how much you're committed to learning new things.
This is where you can really stand out. Talk about your interest in new technologies, like virtual reality experiences or interactive games. Mention industry publications you follow or conferences you'd like to attend. Even following amusement park blogs or social media accounts shows that you're engaged and interested in learning about the latest developments.
So it's all about showing that you're not just looking for a job. You really want to be part of this exciting and growing industry. And that enthusiasm can be really contagious, especially in an interview. Now, before we finish up this deep dive, I want to talk a little bit more about RoleCatcher and how its AI can really help you prepare for your interview.
It's a total game changer, especially for a role like this, where first impressions are so important. Imagine having an AI coach that analyzes job descriptions, figures out the key skills, and then helps you tailor your answers to show off those strengths.
It's like having your own personal resume writer and interview strategist all in one. And it goes beyond just content. RoleCatcher also lets you practice your answers on video, and it gives you feedback on your delivery, your tone, and even your body language.
It's like a virtual mock interview. It helps you get rid of any awkwardness and feel more confident before the big day. And the best part is, RoleCatcher's AI is always learning and getting better, so it's always up to date on the latest interview trends and best practices.
It's like having a secret weapon.
Speaking of standing out, let's talk about a specific example of how RoleCatcher can help you tailor your answers to the specific things that are important in the amusement and recreation industry. Let's say the job description really emphasizes guest safety.
Okay. So how would RoleCatcher help with that?
Well, RoleCatcher's AI would scan the job description, and it would look for keywords related to safety, like risk management, emergency procedures, or accident prevention. Then it would suggest ways to include those keywords in your answers. So you're really emphasizing your knowledge and experience with safety.
So it's not just about saying that you're safety conscious, it's about actually showing it with specific examples and language that's relevant to the industry. That's awesome.
Right, and it's not just about keywords. RoleCatcher can also help you structure your answers using the STAR method, which is a great way to show off your skills and experience in a clear and concise way.
Remind me about the STAR method again.
It stands for situation, task, action, and result. It's basically a storytelling framework that helps you highlight your accomplishments and show how valuable you are. So instead of just saying, I'm good at handling difficult guests, you could use the STAR method to tell a story about a time you successfully calmed down an angry customer.
Right. So you describe the situation, the task you were faced with, the actions you took,
Wow.
and the positive result you achieved. That makes it much more impactful and memorable for the interviewer.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher can guide you through this whole process, helping you create compelling stories that show off your strength and highlight why you're a good fit for the role. It's like having a personal storytelling coach who helps you refine your narrative and make it really shine.
That's incredible. Okay, so we've talked about common interview questions, how to approach them, and how RoleCatcher can help you prepare. But before we wrap up, I want to emphasize one more thing, the power of authenticity.
Yes. It's so important to prepare and practice, but it's also important to be yourself. Let your personality shine through.
Right. Because amusement parks are all about fun and positive energy. The interviewer wants to see that you'd fit in well in that kind of environment.
Think about what excites you about this job. Is it the chance to make people smile? The thrill of the rides? The teamwork?
Whatever it is, let that passion come through in your answers.
And don't be afraid to smile. A genuine smile can go a long way.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So when you go into that interview, just try to relax and take a deep breath and let your enthusiasm show.
Yeah, you got this, and remember, RoleCatcher's got your back, giving you all the tools and support to rock that interview and get that dream job in the fun world of amusement and recreation.
Good luck.
And one last thing for you to think about while you're getting ready for this interview. What special skills and experiences do you have that make you stand out from the crowd? Are you a master of multitasking, maybe a customer service superstar? Or are you amazing at staying calm when things get crazy? Whatever it is, own it and show off those strengths and let your passion shine through.